Ramacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prayam Sikao Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Shri Prabhupada, Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya, Bhutale, Sri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Vijayani, Never Cease to Sanyavadi. Can I get some water? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, good morning. Thank you all for coming. Today's class is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. It's chapter 52, verse 44. This is the last verse in the chapter. And so, thank you. Yesterday we finished, came in at the end of Rukmini's letter to Krishna. She's writing a letter to Krishna. And this humble Brahmin is going to receive this letter from Rukmini and deliver it to Krishna. And so this is a very historical event, you see. And this is right in the middle of the most exciting love story of all time. This is love reality. You've heard of love story? This is love reality. And so we all know the story, but we love hearing it again and again. Now, Rukmini is pouring her heart out to Krishna. She wants Krishna to marry her. She wants to be the wife of Krishna. And so after praying and praying and praying, she wrote this very wonderful letter. And so yesterday's verse was the end of that. It was the end of that letter where she's saying, Krishna, if I can't have you as my husband, then I can't keep body and soul together. I'll die. There's no reason for me to go on living without being your beloved wife. And then we talked about how that's important to have that dedication. See, this is, what do we learn from this? I also want Krishna, and I want him bad enough that I'm willing to give up my body if I don't get him. We should feel that same determination. So we'll go on with the verse. Brahmana uvacha Yityete guya sandesha Yadudeva maya vritaha Vimriksha kartum vachchatra kriyatma tad anantaram brahmana uvacha ityete guya sandesha Madhudeva maya ritaha Vimruksha kartum vachchatra kriyatam taranantaram brahmana uvacha ityete guya sandesha Yadudeva maya hritaha Vimsha kartum vachchatra Kriyatam tad anantaram Anyone else? Brahmana uvacha. The Brahman said, Iti, thus, Ete, these, Guya, confidential, Sandeshaha, messages, Yadudeva, O Lord of the Yadus, Maya, by me, Aharitaha, brought, Vimrishya, considering, Kartum, to be done, yet, that, what? Cha, and, atra, in this matter, Kriyatam, please do, tat, that, Anantaram, immediately following. Translation. The Brahmana said, this is the confidential message I have brought with me, O Lord of the others. Please consider what must be done in these circumstances and do it at once. So I say, and you can repeat. The Brahman said, this is the confidential message I have brought with me, O Lord of the others. Please consider what must be done in these circumstances and do it at once. Purport. When the Brahmana arrived, he broke the seal of the confidential letter written in the privacy of Rukmini's quarters and meant only for Lord Krishna. By using the term Guhya Sandesha, the trustworthy Brahman personally selected by Rukmini here affirms that he has not violated the confidentiality of this message. Only Lord Krishna has heard it. Since the marriage of Rukmini was fast approaching, Sri Krishna would have to act immediately. The term Yadudeva indicates that Lord Krishna, as the lord of the powerful Yadu dynasty, should make his decision and then mobilize his followers if necessary. Thus in the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, to the 10th canto, 52nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Rukmini's Message to Lord Krishna. Om Gyan Timarindasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Putale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadanta Swapadantikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinam Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namoskriti Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanuskute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So once again the verse. The Brahman said, excuse me, this is the confidential message I have brought with me, O Lord of the Yadus. Please consider what must be done in these circumstances and do it at once. So, could you turn that one fan down, or maybe this one? Just turn it down a little bit. Oh, that'll turn it down. I'm just kidding. No, it's good. So, yes, as I said, here we have this is a very beautiful moment. The humble Brahman has brought the sealed envelope to Krishna, and he broke the seal right in front of Krishna. So Krishna is the first to view this message from Rukmini. And she's saying, of course, my Lord, I want you as my husband. Please come and get me. And if you don't, I can't go on. So in this process, the Brahman is delivering this message to Krishna directly from Srimati Rukmini. And it's exactly the way she wrote it. He didn't open it and change. He didn't correct her spelling. Maybe there were tears that fell on the writing and it smeared. No, he didn't do that. He didn't correct her grammar. You see? No, it's exactly from Rukmini as she's feeling it to Krishna. So Krishna, he gets to take that emotion from Rukmini. So in reading this, I can't help but think that we as preachers, we have the duty to deliver this message of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita. We have a duty to respect it, just like that. We don't change anything. We don't change anything. How did you get it? You got it from your guru. You got it from Srila Prabhupada's books. So you give exactly what was given to you. I mean, unless are we going to think, but I think I can do it better? Or you may think, but I can speak it to this crowd better. These people are different. It's a different culture. See, there are different cultures as we go around the world. There are different cultures even within countries, different cultures in India, in America. So you may think, but I need to deliver it a little differently, you see, to a different culture, a different person, different mentality. Maybe they're a little not believing, a little envious maybe. So, is that all right? Tough question, huh? No. Well, no, we can't change a thing. Except we may get in their mood. You see? I mean, I've seen some of these young preachers, when they're teaching, they give this same message, unchanged. But if they're talking to young college kids, they may get a little young and hip with them, you see? It's the same message. We don't change anything. But our mood may change, depending on who we're giving it to. If we're talking with older people, we may speak different than if we're talking to younger people. But the message is exactly the same, isn't it? I mean, I don't think any of us feels that we have the right to change it. Well, Prabhupada should have said this. Krishna should have said that. No, we don't feel like that. That's not our position. No, so what we do, how do we make sure that we be like the Brahman? We deliver it, seal unbroken, right? We deliver that message to the fallen conditioned souls. We have to take it into our heart. We have to hear. Touch Trinu. Krishna says, just hear. So, as my dear friend and godbrother Vaisheshika Prabhu often says, you've got to hear. You've got to hear a lot. You've got to hear a lot every day. You have to go to class. And you have to read. Oh, you're going to have to read and go to class? Yes. If you're going to take this into your heart, if you're going to get it in your psyche and bouncing around in your head, you've got to hear it a lot. And then, as you put it in more and more, put it into your head, lo and behold, it starts coming out of your mouth, just the way it went in, just the way Prabhupada put it in. It's coming out. You read it, you heard it. You see? Maybe before you go to preach, You might want to discuss it with each other, maybe while you're doing service. You know, I read this verse today in Srimad Bhagavatam, and I had this realization. What is your feeling? You see, this is called Krishna Katha. And if we hear enough, and that includes reading, we can hear audio. You know, it's okay to hear. Put on the, what do they call them, the earbuds? It's okay, listen. Listen, you can listen to Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Take it in. You see, while you're working, that's fine. But as you get it, as your mind gets so full of this transcendental knowledge, it will come out of your mouth. That's what you have to say. I've seen people, and some godbrothers, who go and take a lot of studies. They get maybe even PhD. They learn all of this mundane information. And everybody that I've met that has some PhD or higher education, mundane education, their head is full of it. Why, they've studied and studied. You all know what it's like to go to school, right? You study and study. You're cramming. You know, do they use that term in India too? Cram? Cram. You're cramming it into your head. And so it starts to come out of your mouth. You want it to be. When the test comes, you want to be able to, yeah, it's in there. I put it in, yeah. So you don't want to get there where there's some test and think, oh, I forgot to put it in. I can't find it. Oh, no. This won't be a 4.0. You know, so why would we not do that with our spiritual learning? Same, more important. But just as people who get mundane learning, they're eager for it to come out. If you get them talking, have you ever noticed? Have you ever spoken with someone who's learned a lot? If they get a chance, it's going to start to flow. Why, that's like in the 12th century kingdom. You know, I just don't want to hear it, but I have to be nice. Oh, really? And then, oh, are you finished? Why, that reminds me of Krishna. How? Well, you know, Rukmini was writing a letter to Krishna, huh? So it doesn't have to. Because you're that way too. I want it to come out. I get so much in here. I want it to come out. Just give me a chance. Right? Just give me a chance. All it takes is a little bit of provocation. And we start to speak this Krishna Katha. If we prepare, if we hear properly, if we cram Krishna, this Krishna cramming, we need to do that. You see? We need to be, if we do, we'll become highly interested in it. It'll become more and more easy. You'll want more. You'll want more. It's like, how many people, show of hands, how many people can eat one gulab-jamun? Anybody? Just, you can only eat one? You can eat one, and that's easy. Thank you, no. If you're like me, I eat them until I get a little bit of a shiver. You know, I think, oh, I better. I can just see my blood sugar going. Yeah. I'm going to prick my finger to take a blood sugar test, and it's going to break the machine. The machine goes, you know. So this hearing, Just hearing Krishna Kathas, just like this. We get a taste, and then we want another taste, and another taste, and another taste. So, but we don't get the shivers. We don't have to quit. We want more and more. Because of time, we do have to quit. Because I'm talking with you, and this is so wonderful, but I have to go there to do my service, and you have to go there. But we're going to do it again when we get a chance, you see. So, and we want to hear it. It's very important. We only want to hear from sources that will give it to us perfectly. We don't want someone that will mix it up with a little bit of material knowledge. We don't want that, you know. And if you do, then you may start giving that mixture to others. It went in, and now it's going to come out. And there may be some material contamination because you hear someone who puts a little bit of a spin on it, a little bit of a material spin. And you think, wow, that was kind of cool. I want to do that too, because I want to be cool. So now you're in the modes. You've been swept away in the modes. So that's not good for you. It's not good for the people that you preach to. You see? So we have to hear properly. We have to hear properly a lot. We have to listen, but we have to listen to pure Katha, pure Krishna Katha. Now, your presentation, as you give it to others, you can adapt it to the class of person, the time, place, and circumstance, but it's got to be the same as it came out of the book. It's got to be the same. You don't have the right to make any changes. You don't have the right. You never will have the right. Okay? We're servants. We don't do like that. We want to take what made us devotees and give it to other people. So, does this make any sense? See what I'm talking about? Is it confusing? You can adapt, but not change. You think you can do that? Because you may be talking to different kinds of people. So we can adapt to whoever we're talking with. Some people may need it to be very grave in your presentation. A lot of people appreciate some humor. You should be humorous. Why shouldn't you be humorous? You should be funny. You're part and parcel of Krishna, and he's the funniest. He's got the greatest supreme sense of humor. So, all the living entities that you're trying to save, they're also part and parcel of Krishna. Humor will probably appeal. So lighten up. Humor is one way to connect. It's an intimate connection, you see. It's like in marketing, they teach you that there are many different styles of speaking to get people to remember more and more of what you said. And you may get it up to where they remember 40 to 60% of what you said. If you become really expert. But they're going to remember 95% of how you made them feel. Now that is a fact. And as you make them feel good, happy, pleasant, relaxed, they're going to hear more. You know, there's all kinds of fancy ways of talking, and So that's not really necessary. Just feel a little bit of compassion, a little bit of love in your heart, some dedication that I really want this person to hear. I really want. You know, feel the love, as they say. Be a little human. Connect. So that's adapting to the mood. Actually, you'll get the person to adapt to your mood if you're really good. So, but the message that we deliver has to be cent per cent, right on, exactly as it is out of the book. So there may be some times that you may not want, there might be some information that you may not want to give to everybody in every circumstance at any particular time. You see, it's like when you're getting new people to come into the movement, when you want to make devotees, it's not necessary to start out with the 4 regulative principles. Are you going to quit eating meat? Well, you're going to go to hell. Well, thank you. I think I'll leave, you know. You know, I saw you outside, you were smoking a BT. This isn't that. Give them Krishna just the way you got it. With a little humor, a little love, a little affection. Get them to chant Hare Krishna. Get them to take prasadam. Get them to come back. We want to make sure that this is not their last encounter with us, you see. In time, the impediments to their spiritual development will fall away. All of these things. At some point, we will tell them when they're ready, the regulative principles, you know, when it's time. And by that time, it'll be much easier for them to wrap their mind around letting it go. Because you've given them something more valuable. You've given them a really good reason. You've given them the first reason ever to abandon their bad habits. The first real meaningful reason ever to abandon their bad behavior. You see, you've got to give them something. It's just like a child. You know, you ever seen a baby and a baby gets hold of something that's dangerous for the baby? A knife or something like that, and you take it away? What does the baby do? So you've got to take it away and give it something else. You know. So we're going to take away their anartas. We're going to take away their nasty unwanted things. So you give them something else. It's got to be a quick change. You see? And they'll want to. So we don't need to deviate. We've got to remember, don't try to change it. Have confidence and conviction. And then you won't worry. How are they going to take it? If they feel your feeling towards them, they're going to remain interested in what you say. Make them feel. Make them feel loved if you can. That's the greatest way to get people to come back. When you're preaching to someone, make them feel loved. Make them feel worthwhile. You know why? Because they are. They're part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna wants them back. And he's deputized you to do it. It's like Rukmini gave the letter to the Brahmin. Take this to Krishna. So Krishna is giving you the katha. Take this to that person. We should feel honored Krishna, me? Me? Yeah, you take it. Don't worry, I'll go with you. I'll empower you. I'll give you what to say. You can do it. I'm with you. I'm always with you. Why, I'm your dearmost friend and ever well-wisher. I am your Shuri. So now take that message and go save that person over there. You see? But if you're going to save that person, you've got to give them the message. You can't change it. So, any questions, comments at this point? Or criticisms? Those are welcome too. Yeah.
I was reflecting how similar to Krishna is deputizing Prabhupada and all the devotees to give us this message. We, in the same way, can we say that we give our message of love to the spiritual master, to Krishna? We call out to Krishna, and we are doing our service as a call out to Krishna, to the spiritual master, and to the Shiksha Diksha Guru, and that the spiritual master is delivering that to Krishna. Is that a proper analogy or comparison?
I think so. Yeah. If we, hearing isn't just receiving words, it's also receiving the mood, because that mood is the part that's going to make them feel. And so try to capture the mood that comes down from Srila Prabhupada. You can see Prabhupada is pouring his heart out. Prabhupada is very eager. You watch Prabhupada's videos when he's preaching? Very eager. He's fixed. He's not like, all right, let's get this over because I'm... No, he's ready to stay as long as it takes. Because I want you to hear this. And people would say, I hear people leaving the temple room or an auditorium or wherever Prabhupada was speaking, and they'd be saying, wow, how did that make you feel? Well, it made me feel great. They used that word again. Oh, Prabhupada made me feel like I was in another world. Prabhupada made me feel like I was floating on air. You see? So, Prabhupada made me feel like, I've heard this a lot, more than anything. Prabhupada made me feel like he was talking directly to me. The room was full of people. I felt like it was me he was talking to. He could do that. I remember feeling that way. When he was talking about Rascal, how did he know? Did you tell him? So, and sometimes he would look me right in the eye. He would say something. He knows. How does he know? So, now we may not be able to look into their hearts like Srila Prabhupada, but Krishna can empower you to do anything if you want to. You just have to beg Krishna. Some say pray. I like to beg. I think begging is more effective. Please, Krishna, can you give me words to say? I have to go there and I have to say words and touch these hearts. So, please. So, that's the process. You're not going to do it on your own. It's not like you go to some school and they teach you how to be a preacher of the Bhagavatam. You might be some plastic salesman type, but you need empowerment. You have to have empowerment. And to do that, you have to surrender. That means that you take this knowledge as it is, and you deliver it as it is. You see? And then you're part of the process. You see? Any other questions? Yes, Prabhu?
Through, like, when we preach, so our preaching is based on our own conviction. So although we hear the truth, but our preaching is only to the extent of our conviction and realization. So how do we make sure that still we are presenting as it is the truths that we are not convinced of?
Well, we have to hear it, and then we have to rehear it. You know? It's like I hear it one time, and then later on, I'm going to go through it again. What was that? What was that was said? Oh, yeah. You may read some verse, something in the purport that Prabhupada is saying, or whatever, something in the verse that Krishna is saying, whatever, Lord Chaitanya. And you will rehear that, you know? What was that? Rethink it. Think it through. One of the biggest problems we have is we don't think things through. See what I mean? We hear it and we think, oh, that's enough. I heard it. What else you got? You know? What do they call that? Attention span? Limited? What is it?
Attention deficit.
Attention deficit. Some people have difficulty, and some people just their minds want to move on to something else. You see? A little bit of an influence of the mode of passion, maybe. She was in a hurry. Yeah, that was interesting. I'll think about that later. See? No, try to rethink it later on. Think it all the way through. So if Krishna said that, then that means this. Oh, and then it would be this way. Wow. So I think I've just had a realization. Realization is much bigger than memorization. So memorize it. You could teach a parrot, you know, to memorize and quote some shloka, but he doesn't know what it means. You know, you can teach a parrot to quote a Bhagavad Gita verse, but when the cat comes to get him, he's going to say, "Wah!" He's not going to say, "Krishna!" You know, so we have to get that realization, and then we need to share it. Go to your friend and say, remember that verse that we were talking, it was in class a week ago? I was thinking it through, and I came to this realization. What do you think? Kick it back and forth. That your friend may help you come to a deeper realization, or at least you'll share your realization. And if we all do that, then we're sharing our realization. You see, which is a nice way to associate. Very nice way. It's intimate, it's loving, deepens friendship. You don't have to be too dry with it, though. We used to have a saying in the old days, back in the 70s, that we'd be going out on traveling Sankirtan. And we would say, people would ask, what do you do out there? What do you guys do all day, every day? So, quote a shlok, crack a joke. Keep it light. Lighten it up. You see? Krishna wants you to be happy. You should be Ananda, eternally blissful. So it should leak out of you, you know. Happy people make other people happy. They just and sad people make people sad. You ever notice that? See somebody like that? What's wrong? And then they tell you, and then you're, oh. So it works either way. Happy makes happy, sad makes sad. Enlivening makes people enlivened. You see? Yeah. Bless you. Go ahead then. So, any other questions? Yes?
Prabhu, can you please elaborate on this fact of adapting to the message and changing the message? What is the difference? Like we cannot change the message, but according to the situations or different people, we can adapt the message. So if you can little elaborate on it, because adapting does not mean that we go on speculating or things like that.
Yeah, so it's like in marketing. The teaching is don't talk down to who you're talking to. It's disrespectful. Even if they were lower in education, don't talk down to them. It's disrespectful, and it's probably not going to work well for you. You know? Don't intimidate people. You see? Talk to and with people directly. If someone is very educated and they know it and they want you to know it, then talk up to them. Be humble. You're probably smarter than they are because you've taken to this Krishna consciousness, but they want to feel smarter than you. They want to feel like they're the smartest person in the room. Talk up. You see? Like, I'm sure, my dear sir, that you probably know this, but it's fun to discuss how we're not these bodies. Huh? Oh, yeah, I knew that, yeah. What I found that when you're talking with people who are higher educated and they know it and they want everybody to know it, sometimes you preach in the form of questions like that. Have you ever thought, I'm sure you have, but have you ever thought about life after death? I mean, I know you have. Oh, yeah. All the time. So I mean, you can kind of talk a little up to them because they expect that anyway. If you try to talk with and to, they're going to be like, hey, who do you think you are? I went to Harvard. Ph.D. Why, I studied hard for that. I want you to recognize it. So you don't say, well, I studied Bhagavad Gita hard. I want you to recognize it. No, you say, oh, well, that's very wonderful. I'm very impressed. And then someone may be desperate. They're in a desperate mood. I need your help. So now you're going to give them shelter. You're going to speak to them as a shelter. Don't worry, it's all right. This is going to work out just fine. Really? Yeah, I have something here I want to share with you. This is going to make your life sublime. You see? It's maybe the same verse, the same topic. You see how you're talking to different people in a different way? And you have to meditate on that and share it with each other. You don't know who's going to walk through the door. All you know is that they're going to be contaminated. You see? So we have to take a humble position. So, does that make any sense? Does that answer the question? It takes a lot of thought, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, we want to be the very best, most effective preachers that we can be, right? So it's worth it. Think it through. Did you have a question too? Oh, okay.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful class. So, you mentioned...
What? I can't hear.
You mentioned that just like people cram in material, mundane studies, mundane subject matter,
Yeah.
as devotees, we should also learn to cram in Krishna. And our mind will be filled with that. Then that will lead to Krishna coming out of our mouth. We did that. We did cram material subject matter, but because we had an impetus that we will get some material reward in return. But when it comes for spiritual life, we did hear from scriptures, but we have not developed sufficient faith, nor we have developed sufficient taste to be able to cram it the same way. So how do we go forward?
Well, the cramming is much more pleasant with Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's very much different because it's like eating 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐍, cramming. You just want to keep going. Whereas the mundane material, you have to do it to pass the test. So you're under the gun. And it's not fun, see? So when we cram, maybe we're not in the mode of passion so much to do it. No, let it happen. Read, hear, discuss. You see? Just let it work. There's nothing that... we have to add enthusiasm. People like enthusiasm. Krishna likes it when you're enthusiastic. In your devotional service, in your desire to learn. That's attractive to Krishna. So then Krishna will help you to your desire. According to your desire, why wouldn't Krishna help you? We don't have to do it, and we can't do it on our own. If we try to give class without help from Guru and Krishna, we're going to crash. That's a heavy thing to think about. I've got to go in front of all these people, and I've got to give a class, and it's just me, what I can memorize. I don't know about you, but I can't take that. I can't do that. Especially as you get older, you can't remember much anyway. There's so much that is there, but I don't know how to pull it out. I just have to beg for the empowerment of Guru and Krishna. Give me words to say. So I'm surrendering. It's not up to me. It's not up to you. It never will be. It doesn't have to be. You see? You become Krishna's instrument. It's like Prabhupada said to Krishna, if you've brought me here to dance, make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. You see? And I love what the gopis said to Krishna. Govinda, it will always be as you wish. We have to think like that. My dear Lord Krishna, I'm just trying to do what you want. So I need you to empower me. You see me? Beg for empowerment from Guru and Krishna. Without empowerment, we can't do anything anyway. So we just can't think, we can't feel the pressure that I have to go out there and do it on my own. I have to preach and make devotees on my own. No, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are there with you. They're sending you as their agents. They'll speak through you. They're gonna bring people in the door, and then they're going to empower you to save them. Does that make any sense? Does that help? We have to think about this, meditate on these things. Anything else? Yes.
I think you mentioned that the few aspects of hearing, that getting the mood of a person who's speaking. When we hear any either book or audio, you're telling about that we also need to take the mood or adopt the mood of a speaker. That's what you're mentioning, I remember. What are few more parameters we can check? I want to ask one thing, that what it means to be good hearing, means what all things we can check. Is it information, or is it a spirit, or is it a appreciating the speaker? What exactly we need to do while process of hearing?
I think it's all the above. All of it. We don't want to try to imitate, because you're a unique individual. You, the Jiva, you're all the Jivatmas, unique, completely unique, and yet very similar, you see. So we can't do it just the way someone else does it. We don't want to try to walk their path. But from that, you may get some inspiration on how you do it. You see, it's the same message. It gets down to, how do you connect with people? Some people connect with people one way. You may connect with people differently. It's about connecting. Preaching is about connecting, not just dumping words on the room. If it's people that are non-devotees and you want to make them devotees, they're not probably going to be very impressed on how much Sanskrit you've memorized. And you just throw it out there. You've got to connect with them. They don't understand what you're saying. They may think, oh, he wants me to know that he knows that. And I don't know what it means. You see? Use it as you need it. But the main thing is, how do you connect? You've got to want to connect with people. When you're speaking, look at them. Look at the people you're talking to. Sometimes Prabhupada would ask someone in the audience, he would make a statement and he would say, isn't it? Well, that's a really good habit. Or you could say, what do you think? What is your opinion? And then, if you do that once or twice, people in the room start to think, oh, wait, I got to pay attention. He may ask me. You see, you in the back of the room, right? Did you get that? Did you hear that? Huh? Oh, yeah. What is your opinion? Just don't let them take over. Some people will want to steal the class. Don't let that happen. You know. But you have to connect. It's a process of connecting. You have to connect. Either that or you throw words at them and hope throw it out there and hope what do they call it? Throw it against the wall and hope it sticks. That's a method too. And it can be somewhat effective. But it's probably much more effective if you really feel like I want to connect. I want to give you this message. I want to give it to you. And so, and I'm willing to do it however it takes, whatever it takes. That's called surrender. Not that I want to do it my way. I want to speak in my own way, so therefore you must listen in my way. That's probably not going to be very effective. Being adaptable, you know. And don't expect to be able to do it like that just overnight. You don't have to. It's not required. Just want it. Ask Krishna for help. Ask for empowerment, and it'll happen. There's no reason why it won't happen. Okay? Does that sound okay?
Actually, I would like to ask a little different question to that only. I'm a hearer, and let's say Prabhupada is speaking some audio tape, I'm hearing that. So what exactly we have to focus on? It's information, or I'm asking in that way. So I'm a hearer and someone else is a speaker. So what exactly I have to make sure while in the process of hearing, so that I can get the maximum benefit of hearing? So that's how I asked the question.
Say that again.
Let's say I'm the hearer here. I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And Srila Prabhupada is speaking.
Right.
Speaking. So what I should ensure in the process of hearing, that so that I can get maximum benefit of the hearing. That's what I would like to ask.
Yeah. It helps if you can learn to become a good hearer first.
Yes, how do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I hear properly?
Pay attention.
So while paying attention, what to pay attention on? Is it attention on the information spoken by Srila Prabhupada, or should I appreciate Srila Prabhupada on the topic what he's speaking?
Oh, I see. The information.
Achha.
Listen to the information. His persona will come along with that.
Okay.
It's not that we just watch his gestures, facial expressions. That will come along with it. But listen to the information. You know, absorb the information. Generally, the speaker speaking this information is interesting. So we need to speak to people in such a way that will get them interested. Don't be too preachy. You know, most people don't like to be preached to. Say it. Just put it out there. Sweetly, nicely. Okay? What else? Anything else? All right. Thank you all so much. I appreciate being here. It's a very wonderful place that you have. You're very fortunate. It's wise for you to tell yourself and each other, I'm fortunate. I'm a lucky guy. I get to walk in that door every day. I get to come and see Srila Prabhupada, and I get to come and see 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐍. And I'll catch on to this relationship that's going on between Prabhupada and 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐍 someday. But there's something very magical going on. You see, just because Prabhupada physically left this world doesn't mean that the whole thing is still isn't still going on. No, the whole thing is still happening. Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, Lord Jivananda, and Srila Prabhupada are still having their ras. The game is still happening, and you're part of it. You're a very important part of it. So, how important do you think that you, as part and parcel of Krishna, are to Krishna? As important as you could possibly be. There's nothing insignificant about the living entity, nothing at all. So, all right, thank you so much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.